I would say there's a big stigma to being associated as a veteran. Thought it would be easy as a veteran. I was a staff sergeant and I got an honorable discharge, several medals including Bronze Star. I thought it'd be easy, but it's not actually. They treat you very differently. Like if he might go crazy and start just tearing up the store or something, they treat you very different, not like an average person. And to a country that forgotten about him. I'm from Orleans, Indiana. I was 20 when I first joined the Army. I joined the Army because I wanted to be a medic. I wanted to be a medic to save lives. To be called Doc as a combat medic is the highest honor that your teammates can give you. Your men start to rely on you and they depend on you and they respect you. I wanted to save lives because I think it's the most important thing that a person can do in the world, in life. I served in the Army for 5 years and 4 months. I deployed once to Iraq in 2010 and once to Afghanistan in 2012. I guess the year in Iraq was changing, was different. I think it made me and the other people, or the other soldiers, more mature, more grown up, sort of opened our eyes to the world, I suppose. I would say I enjoyed my military service. I loved it, actually. Enjoyed it very much. I think one of my fondest times in the military, the Army, would have been in Germany. Going to different countries, kind of, exploring. A lot more direction, more sure of myself, more confident, more focused, more determined, more dedicated. So I was in the Army. A majority of my time would have been spent outside of America. While I was in the Army, did I feel like I had the support of the American people? I didn't really know because I was in Germany. I didn't really have a lot of contact with the States. Kind of made our own little place there. So there wasn't really a lot of contact with America, with my friends over here so much. My deployment to Afghanistan was exciting because I really wanted 2 deployments. I'd already gone to Iraq and I really wanted the second one, so I had to re-enlist in order to get it. I was really excited because it was a new country and I don't know, there seemed like a lot of possibilities. Was I scared? Was I scared when I went to Afghanistan? Not really, actually. I went to Afghanistan actually convinced that I wouldn't make it back. I was actually more scared that I would actually make it back in a weird way. So I think if you're gonna die, the best place to die is on a battlefield. I think we all were kind of sick, so in the head a little bit. I don't think anyone would have noticed if I would have died outside of friends and family. What I consider the ultimate sacrifice would have to be John 15:13. Basically, that the greatest love on earth is if you lay down your life for one of your friends. I mean, because you never knew when it was going to happen. There was always a chance of IEDs and rockets, and we had suicide bombers and whatnot, but that was normal. We knew we were going to this valley, or through that to get to this fob on the other side. We knew that we weren't going to have air support in there because it was supposed to be crawling with insurgents. They told us there was a good possibility that we were going to get hit. I got some extra medical supplies in the event that we were pinned down for a while. Everyone on the team wrote their families, basically in like a goodbye letter. And our job was to shadow some of the higher enlisted, higher officers on the battlefield. Life after the military was different. There wasn't that paycheck or the security anymore. It wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. Do I feel like the American people love me? As a veteran, I think some do. I can't speak for like all of the American people. I'm sure, I know there are some that really support veterans. I feel support from some people, but I think there's a big misconception. Everyone thinks they're ready to snap or ready to pop off, and you don't really get respect either. Me as a platoon sergeant, I was a staff sergeant, I had 40 to 50 soldiers at one time, and then to go into the civilian world, there's you don't have that respect, or they don't look at you as someone who served your country. It's more or less someone who was part of a political campaign for whatever they make the reason to be. America wasn't at war. I mean, that sounds like a brash statement, but if you think about it, in the last 10 years, we never got hit by a bomb. You get hit with bombs. You didn't have to worry about an IED on your way to school. You didn't have to worry about every day that you were going to die, and if you did die, that you weren't going to see your loved ones. You didn't have to worry about any of that. You had them going to the malls as if nothing happened. And that was a big issue for a lot of soldiers. I think that's why you can't look at it that America was at war. It was the soldiers that were at war. The soldiers dealt with didn't know if they were going to live, didn't know if they were going to die on a daily basis. And one of the hardest things was actually going home back to a place where no one even felt war at all, especially if they didn't even know a soldier. And if something bad happened to them as far as PTSD, they would just say, oh, well, the war made him crazy. When you're talking to an average American, the first question they'll ask you when they find out you're a veteran is, what's the worst thing you've seen, and have you ever killed anyone? Which are two of the most ignorant and insensitive questions that you can ask a veteran. The fact that America never really felt the war at all. They still had their coffee and their donuts. Just say, oh, well, the war made him crazy. People are, possible employers looking at you as if you may be on the verge of cracking, you may have PTSD. In my country, I don't know. That's a broad term, I think, to label what someone feels is their country. I mean, I thought my country was America. It is America. I love America. I feel like an outsider here. There's a lot of times where I don't recognize my own country. A boy joins the army because he wants to serve his country and comes back disfigured. Yeah. So yeah, you leave with a lot of emotional and mental scars. Some of them you get over, some of them you don't. I think the problem with that is even saying that now, that it kind of casts a shadow over veterans, and a lot of American people think that, oh, because of these emotional scars, they're apt to do something crazy or to just snap one day. And I think, honestly, what makes people snap is being forgotten and thrown away.